Ladies and gentlemen, sirs, welcome to the Yacht Club. Oh, we got to turn my own audio down. I'm one of your bartenders, captains, who will be taking you through this week's news and hot items and cool things that have happened in the Star City universe. We're also going to be answering some questions. As you probably have noticed, our beautiful bald-headed warrior is not here, Mr. Sim Citizen. So I'm actually running the show tonight. So we're gonna just step right through this as we normally do. We're going to drink a lot. Well, at least I am. So and we'll start it off with Mr. Dr. Murray. So what are you drinking there tonight, there, Dr. Murray?
Dehydrated oxygen.
Again, he seems to be an avid fan of this one. So anything interesting happened this week?
No, we're getting rid of the dog tomorrow.
You're getting rid of the dog? You just got the dog.
Yeah, he won't stop biting the children, so he has to go.
Bad dog.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop basting your children in barbecue sauce.
But it does wonders for their skin.
It does.
So soft and tasty.
Right.
That's right. That's right. And extra lubricated.
Right. Asking to be bitten. But yeah, so we're gonna have no dog again.
All right. Well, Jordan, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a Tucher Helles Hefeweizen.
Tucher. All right.
Tucher. Good standby Hefeweizen. I went pretty safe this weekend.
No more mystery beers.
No more mystery crazy out there beers. And let's see, what am I doing this weekend?
Yeah, what's going on this week? Or anything fun or interesting?
I was up in North Florida over the weekend, helping the wife and with the dog, who's actually doing pretty well. He's elderly and infirm, but she's feeding him better than I eat. She makes him 3 meals a day of people food. He has eggs and sausage for breakfast, and
jeez, eats better than I do.
Pork chops and macaroni and cheese, and yeah, he does pretty well. But yeah, so he's doing pretty good. So I drove back yesterday morning, and back at work and back on the yacht club.
Very good, very good.
Enjoying a lovely beer. What about yourself? You're doing a great job. We're actually
it's no fire
Holy
yet.
Crap! It worked. We're not on fire. We're streaming.
It survived. It beats the Sunday after the Ohio citizens. Woo!
Oh.
I'm surprised I picked up anything.
At least I wasn't hungover that day, but man, I was tired.
I was tired too.
Late days.
Yeah. So I'm working our McAllen sponsorship a little bit more. Back to my very, very favorite 15 triple cask, which is probably one of my new favorites.
Special beer for a special day.
That's right. Yeah. No. It was a matter of, like I was telling the guys before, if things didn't go well, we were setting fire to the entire show and just walking out, because that's just how it works. I've just been busy with work, so we'll jump right into the show. So let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about where Stimmy is right now, because this was actually pretty cool shot.
And so our lovely producer, Stim Citizen, is in South Africa for 4 days for a family. I think somebody is getting married in his family, and it's like this incredible wilderness resort. He's been down there at these mountains.
You can see it. It's gorgeous.
Really stunning.
And
we didn't on the left side behind all the text, but still.
Yeah, well,
pretty nice.
We didn't approve his vacation, by the way, so. It's just, let me see if I give a little better shot of this. Because it really is the gorgeous parts on the right there. I guess that kind of takes away from it. You get the idea.
Something like that. Yeah, there's mountains and there's trees and savannas, and I'm sure there's animals and all kinds of
stuff that'll eat you.
Yes.
stuff that'll eat you.
Not as bad as Australia, but no, very nice vacation. We're wishing Stim a good time. He's actually supposed to be in bed asleep right now, but he is actually still on West Coast time. So
is he on? Let's see him in chat.
He was in chat. Hopefully he passed out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He's still there, lurking.
Lurking.
Lurking. He's watching us on his phone. He's all tucked down in the corner of his room, trying not to wake up his
Well, I don't
wife.
know. He might have to absolutely dial up to like modems or something out there.
No, he said he had LTE.
Yeah, he's got good signal out there.
You got LTE? All right.
So,
Well, I guess you could survive a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too bad. He's got internet. He's got contact. Keep up with mostly keeping tabs on us to see that we don't burn the place down.
Yeah, he did check in like oh yeah, that's a good point. It's like Dad's not here. As many times as he checked in this last few days. Dad's not here.
We do it ourselves.
Woo,
See, he's still
party!
there.
He's still awake.
I know.
Oh, is he there? Hey, there he is. Wonder if he could
is.
actually hear us. Nice.
Yeah,
Enjoy the all he says, enjoy the vacation because you're not getting any more, at least until CitizenCon.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. So we had Thursday, May 2nd was Inside Star Citizen.
another really good program. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, there was quite a bit in this one. Starting off with the flight model.
I think it was shorter than the week before, but they're still packing a whole lot of stuff into each episode.
Yeah, they really are. So yeah, they started off with the flight model, which was some really good info. They did the comparisons,
That was some
which
serious
were
flying there.
yeah, it was, especially in Aurora. They did some really good comparisons between the two as well, which was a good footage to watch. It almost seemed like, I mean, it's kind of hard to. I noticed with the planets being so in depth, it was kind of hard to really pick out some of the differences. Other than one just looked so much better, but. So what'd you think about it there, Doc Mary? Because I know you're a pessimist about this.
I like the new flight model. What are we talking about?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything in particular?
I mean, it's better than it was in 2.5, and
that says a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, here was the
But
comparison.
everybody seems to say 2.6 or 2.6.3 was so good or something.
No,
Yeah, the last-
2.6.3, 2.6 was the new flight model that
The
we
old
had.
new-
Yeah, the old new flight model.
The old
and,
flight model, version 2.2.861.
I think it was flight model version 2, actually. So, it was enjoyable before that. Then they got the new flight model, and all the ships were just too sharp. Everything was just too tight. You could turn on a dime and have no blackout issues.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I like the way it looks more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, just
And-
the little bits that they made, this
Yeah.
the vapor trails coming off. I mean, that really adds a lot for when you're in atmospheric. I think
Right.
that
Yeah.
looks
Now
gorgeous.
we have atmospheric flight, so they had to create a new model for that. So it makes sense that they did it now.
I think it
That's
feels
the
really
side I like.
it feels really good, especially flying the Starfarer. I was really surprised at how much better it felt when we took out all those cyclones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you flew. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I've yet to fly one in
of
the
our
model.
pilots.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to hate flying the Starfarer, and it
Yeah,
it
you
didn't
and me
feel that
both.
bad. Yeah, I
Oh,
never
it's fun to
did.
fly.
Tank.
I like
Yeah.
flying the Starfarer.
So, looking forward to our new really big ship coming in 2 months, if it comes in 2 months,
It's not.
and doesn't
You
get
don't
pushed
think?
back.
Get pushed back.
He's
I'm
Captain
50
Skeptic. He's Captain
I'm-
Skeptic, so of course he's going to say
Hey,
it.
I'm super hyper optimistic here, and I'm still 50-50 that it may or may not come out in 3.6. It's just it's too big. They have so much work to do on it, even though they're finished it. And by the way, we're talking about the 890 jump for those.
Oh, yeah, we should probably mention that. Do you want to mention the tidbit about the 890 jump?
If you want to join the yacht club, you should have an
Which
890 jump.
No, it's the complete opposite of that. So
the yacht
we've
club
heard.
is.
Go ahead.
So, and some people think that you have to have an 890 jump to hang out in the yacht club. So a little about what we decided to start here for those of y'all who haven't heard the story. So some of us are from the jump club. We own 890 space yachts, and we all got together at Citizen Con, and then some of us got together for a ski weekend in Vancouver, and we just have a really great group of high level backers that are very optimistic and positive about the development of Star Citizen. And so many of the shows and so much of the news out there and so many of the content creators are just salty and impatient, and that they take a bit of a narrower, smaller view, and we wanted to present a different perspective. And so we thought, okay, well, some guys that own yachts hanging out in the yacht club, we'll have a show and present a different perspective. And the same thing that we do talking in the Jump Club all the time, we can get on Twitch and share it with everybody, and drink beer and talk about everything to do with Star Citizen, and share it with everybody. And
no
it's been
890
great
required.
Fun. No, you don't have to have a yacht. You don't have to like yachts. This is just the yacht club where everybody just hangs out casually, has an adult beverage, and talks about Star Citizen.
Or
and
7.
Keeps a positive, and or multiples, and just keeps a positive attitude about things. Because,
Yeah, just like Junkyard
this is
says,
just amazing.
you don't need to own one; you just need to be able to afford to ride on one. That about works. Let's go with that.
Everybody's welcome on our yachts. We're just a constant flying party, and that's what our show is all about. Just having a good time, talking about Star Citizen, and hanging out with the community, because it's just.
We love the Jump Club Illuminati. Or no, the aficionados, sorry. Yacht Club aficionados. Oh, man. I got stymitis.
For me, this is like Bar Citizen. It's like we hang out, we drink beer, and we talk about spaceships. It's like Bar Citizen on Twitch. Like us and everybody here with us.
It's virtual Bar Citizen.
It is virtual Bar Citizen.
It's just a very expensive version of it.
Well, it's funny that, and that's how what really got me started down the road toward Bar Citizen was actually watching Gray-Headed Gamer and his Not So Sober Saturdays. He'd stream at midnight on Saturday night Eastern time, and they'd be drinking, and he'd have guests on, and they'd be talking about Star Citizen. And it was actually my first experience watching a streamer on first YouTube and then on Twitch. And then I started hanging out in his Discord and in the Twitch chat, and I'd grab a beer and interact with him. And sometimes, he'd have people calling on his show. And then he asked me to start the Florida Bar Citizen. And that was just kind of like Not So Sober Saturday was my first experience with hanging out, drinking beer with other citizens. And then Bar Citizen, we take it around the world, and this is just the most fun ever.
That's right. That's why we love it.
It is.
The virtual Bar Citizen bar cruise.
The next thing after the flight model inside Star Citizen last week was the ELD clothing line, which it's not really my style, but I mean it looks pretty
Blade Runner-ish.
Yeah, but at least
cyberpunk.
Kind of cyberpunk. Blade Runner, futuristic. I can definitely see that this kind of thing on ArtCorp. Very very ArtCorp-ish.
Yeah, spot on. Yep.
Well, this is for Microtech.
Yeah.
With all the cool tech brats.
Yep. Tech brats.
I envision Microtech as being much more futuristic and high end. I think Microtech's going to be like, hey JJ, good to see you, man. Been a long time. But I think the ladies' outfits look really cool here, because now that we've got the female character model in.
Hunger Games Capital clothes. That's about right. Well, I like what they were saying about some of the stuff too. Is they were working with materials that like glow and have weird sheens and different type of patterns and things that stood out that were active. I think that was pretty neat, because that's we're 900 years in the future. We're going to be wearing clothes like we see now. So unless you're Dr. Murray, and he's probably still going to be wearing the same shirt.
I just don't see the point of taking off my spacesuit.
Yeah, that's another good point, especially now because it's very hazardous to your health.
Well, yeah, not
Especially in the alpha.
you would die anywhere without oxygen.
Right.
Yeah.
You can walk into a store, our planet side, be fine
It's-
everywhere else.
It
but
seems
right
to
in
be a
front of the
very
terminal,
deadly thing to do.
dead.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just stick with the space.
Right now, it's the safest patch.
And
Yes,
it's
it
purple,
is.
so
Definitely.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
And the next
Hey,
thing they were
Mystic! Thanks for the resub.
Thanks, Mystic. So they were showing the Apocalypse Arms Animus
Yes.
missile launcher, which looked
Easily
pretty cool.
one of my favorite things.
yeah. Animus.
Animus, yes. What do you say it means? It means assault.
It means aggression.
Aggressor, yeah.
Aggression. Yeah.
It actually defines aggression. That's definitely a gorgeous piece of work there.
Black Intellect's asking if there are going to be areas that don't permit spacesuits. And I think you can wear whatever you want to, but
Did you just say Black Man X?
Black Intellect.
Oh.
Close
Intellect.
enough. Close enough.
no,
Nothing to see here.
I think we're going to enjoy not wearing spacesuits. You know, once we have a lot more clothing options. I spend a lot of time just going around shopping for clothes. As soon as I get into the new patch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
Yeah, you know, like when you're hanging out at the bar at Area 18 or any of the other bars, like, you know, you want to feel casual and, you know, not feel like you're you know, about to take off and go off on some kind of mission. It's like
Sure, I
right
mean,
now people do
especially
that
when
a lot,
you're at bar crawls.
that's not every day. Exactly.
Right. Now we get into one of the coolest things that I thought was really awesome.
Oh man, the new canyon tech was
God,
just
it looks
amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like a real
The
big. I
Grand
mean, other than the
Canyon's
better.
near stuff,
It,
it
looks like the Grand
real.
Canyon.
Yeah,
And they get
It
better
looks like
and better.
part of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the sun move over it. That's going to be really, or see it go into
The
the
Grand
night.
Canyon's kind of a showcase of what canyons can look like through multiple different regions.
What canyons
Yeah.
can look like? You mean like? Oh, that's right. It's a real canyon.
Yeah.
It's like it's the real thing.
Yeah.
Jay just says, "Hold up, that's just a photo of the Grand Canyon." It looks like it, and it's
It does look
they have
really good.
so many improvements to the planetary tech, the lighting, the shadows, the ground fog. I mean, so many things are coming. Every new patch, it gets better and better, and I think it's actually Naranian who does the side by side videos of
Mhm.
like the previous patch and this patch. Like he did one for 3.4, 3.5, and
Yeah.
just showing like all the different things side by side. I don't know how he does it. It's amazing. But
Yeah.
he'll go to like Olisar.
Oh yeah.
and
Do we have
Morville,
that? No, he
and,
hasn't done that yet though. Oh, okay.
He did one for 3.5.
He drew a big crack. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, we drew a big crack. It's a great looking crack, though, to say the least.
Here's our show notes. I'm gonna post that right over to the right of the canyons. I just posted the YouTube link.
The canyons look like a lot more fun to fly through now. I mean, the ones on Daymar were
Yeah.
pretty good, but now
Yeah,
they're
I
going
mean,
to look better.
they were great, but they're going to be even better.
Yeah.
And I like how they go back in every patch and they apply the fixes to the previous moons and places that we've been. So, and over time, they're going to continue to feel new and different and better until you know, for the next couple of years as they improve the planetary tech.
Yeah, I would agree with
Yeah.
that.
I don't know if people have seen this, but this video that Naranian did is just really just stunning.
Well, wait. Well, actually, do you have a link for that?
I
The
posted
virtual
over to the right. If you go to the canyons, then click one over to the right.
Oh, I got you. All right. Well, we're showing
Yeah,
the Vanguard rule
yeah,
here.
yeah. This is actually the Vanguard landing gear. I guess they're going
Yeah.
back to a track landing gear, which
It's dumb.
What the? Why
I'm
did it
not
give
sure.
me an ad? It should not have given me an ad.
Everybody, let's watch this ad. All right.
Yeah, welcome to the ad. I don't know why they gave me an ad, but anyway.
You're not in your.
Hey, where did I go? Oh, there I am.
You're still
There
there.
we go. Yes, we are. We are still here. So this was... Wait, is this the right one?
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
he
okay.
goes through and
Walk
he
us
shows
through it.
the launcher. Yeah, I don't know how long this video is, but you probably jump forward just a little bit. But like, see how he shows like one, and then he scrolls over and he shows the new one. So he's showing 3.4 and 3.5 overlaid, and each of the different things. But maybe jump forward a little bit.
Let's go. Let's go to... where's the one? I know what you're talking about, where it goes. Oh, it keeps showing me ads. That's weird. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know what you're... Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh.
Oh yeah, like this. So this is showing
Yeah.
the exact same view in Lorville, 3.4, 3.5, showing improvements to the buildings, the improvement to the lighting. Just
Even the same guy was
just blows
standing
my
there.
yeah, it's like holy crap! I had to watch this like 2 or 3 times. Like
This
they
one was
make
really good.
Oh, this
'Cause
was.
I remember
stunning.
seeing this right away, and then
Yeah, because I thought this looked so good.
look
And
at
then
the
in 3.5,
the
like,
exhaust and the sun
holy
and the
shit,
way everything scatters.
somehow it looks
Ugh.
better. It's like,
Yeah.
how do they get better every patch?
Well, I hope
How?
they get better every patch.
How?
I don't know
Oh,
how they
that's
do
cool.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just get that feeling that it's
Yeah,
real, yo.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people forget. You know, that they see a patch come out, and it's like, oh well, now we've got this stuff, and it's not as good as I think it should be.
Mhm.
Like we covered a few weeks ago about all the buildings on ArcCorp are all red.
I mean,
And-
look at-
Yeah, and
That'll be a fun one to watch
explain
from
it. It's
version to version.
like, yeah. Oh man, that's
All
gonna
red,
that's gonna
not red anymore.
and probably 3.6, and they're going to completely change the look of all the buildings, and then they're going to be adding more complex shapes to the building. So, as amazing as ArcCorp is already, it's going to get tremendously better over the next patch or two.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, like Søren said, people forget that it's an alpha because it feels like a playable game. I mean, it feels so substantial, even though we don't have game loops, and there's so much
I
world
have
there.
no idea why this is giving me ads. Anyway,
Are you
we'll move
not
on.
not on your YouTube Red account?
Yeah, I must not have had that account lined up, but that's fine. So yes, quick jump through the landing gear. Do we like it or not? Because I'm
No,
a
we
big
don't like
Vanguard
it.
fan. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, why are we putting tracks on a spaceship?
You know, why is it? And they look rubberized, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
They're not even good tracks. They're like meh tracks on a spaceship, which makes
Well, if
zero
they make a purpose for it, it's like, is it supposed to like do something special, like rotate or be able to allow you to move sideways? And I don't know.
Is it just meant to land in more harsh terrain? But I mean, you take
It would be
off and
terrible
land.
landing on treads. Can you imagine?
And you take,
Yeah, it's
you
probably
take off-
it's gonna be like crazy.
Yeah,
The noise that would make would be unbelievable.
the feeling it would have would be terrible.
The other thing is,
well,
you
well, it's
land
not like
that
you
straight up
actually
and down,
roll.
right?
Yeah,
It'd
Yeah.
shake you to shit.
you take off straight up and down.
I know.
What if-
so
what
why
if
are they
you're-
bothering with wheels?
Well,
Doesn't
I mean,
matter. Yeah.
what if
The
you
original
have
Vanguard-
like
What
if
we
you have,
now
like,
has legs?
parts of your ship are damaged in a way, and you only take off with atmospheric air? Well, that's true. As soon as you get in space, that probably wouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
You'd be just tumbling helplessly. Yeah, that's a great point to begin with. Why does it even bother having wheels? Oh, wait. This goes on a
saying
carrier.
People wanted. This is them
This-
saying people kept asking for it to be like the original concept, and they're going to be dicks about it. This is what
Yeah.
this is. Like, okay, we'll make it like the original concept. Here you go, have
I-
treads.
Could care less
we-
about that.
Well,
Oh, no.
that's an interesting
Murray
point
disappeared.
that Hindle brings up. What do you do with Dr. Murray?
Hi, there he is.
There's disappearing.
He'd There's this heat.
He's disappearing.
Heat. So Handel said the treads are taxi cave to store or hide it. I guess if you're on the ground, moving into cover or something like that, it's like, yeah, or I guess maybe if you're coming in hot and you're coming down at like an angle, we've all come in kind of hot to a landing, and you're not just taking a nice slow
wheels
straight
sure
down. Yeah, and if you're coming in kind of hot at an angle and you're rolling a little bit, maybe it's better for
for that I get it. I mean, if it goes on a carrier and it has to move around the deck too, so that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
It would make sense if it had wheels. It still makes no sense to have treads.
Yeah, treads make no sense whatsoever. Wheels, yes.
Design?
Treads, no. What do we think of the chat? Treads, wheels, or skids? Because I'm kind of a wheels guy, just because. Treads, wheels, or skids? Anyone listening? Nobody's listening. Yeah, Mystic's listening. I agree, wheels. I think it's just because you're going to move it around on a ship. I think it's skids. Drag it around.
They have things that go under airplanes that pick them up and move them around on ships. That's how that works.
Yeah,
The ship itself doesn't taxi, but the airplane.
Doesn't Idris have that already? Well, we don't know, I guess.
You can only load 3 in a row in an Idris, so why are you moving one? You just power up and move. Like,
anyway.
I think there are 4 ships that have wheels. Now we're gonna have 5. It boggles the mind.
It boggles even the mind of Dr. Murray.
The mind is boggled.
Thy mind is boggled.
We haven't even had much beer yet.
Not yet. Well, he's drinking all that dihydrogen monoxide over there. So.
Yeah. So you were rolling some video on the back.
Yeah.
I
so
was,
user feedback. This was a big one.
Cool.
Yeah, this was a very big one. Because it really gave you a touch for how they actually deal with the what do we call it? The tsunami of WAN. I mean, information that they get.
Of WAN.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine what that's like to go through.
And it's interesting that there's so much negative feedback, and there's not a lot of really positive feedback. And actually, I was listening to, and I didn't post it on here, but the Brian Chambers interview from BritizenCon just got posted to YouTube a couple of days ago, and I was listening to that earlier.
Ooh, I gotta watch that.
He was talking about how, they asked him about user feedback, and how do they filter out the negative from the positive, because most people that have feedback are bitching about stuff. You go on a spectrum, and it's all bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching, and the people that are happy with things don't go on spectrum and say, it's like, oh, this is great, I'm happy with it. They just play it and they enjoy it. So it's a little bit skewed in the kind of feedback that they get. But I really, really like the fact that they really pushed the user feedback surveys and forum threads for 3.5. They've had them before, but they really pushed them out there a lot, and I spread them around the community as much as I could. So they were really looking for, and they had surveys on what people liked about different ships, didn't like about different ships, and how they rated different gameplay aspects, and then they had feedback threads on so many different aspects, from the flight model to the economy to mining, and there were probably like 8 or 9 different areas that they had specific feedback threads for people to just post what they thought about it. So I thought this is really phenomenal, and they've got a whole team for cataloging this user experience and feeding that back up to management.
Right.
And,
and Serenus nailed it, really. He's like, it's not a matter of negative or positive, it's a matter of if it's useful. And that's really, that's what was really interesting to hear, was that they actually, the way that they chew through a lot of that and actually find the usefulness, even though it could be totally salty, it might be something that's actually, hey, you know what, this is probably something we should fix. And they were actually looking at that, and I like that. It's just the way that they chew through it.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, it had the really interesting conversation Galoith at the Ohio Bar Citizen. We all ended up chatting with him quite a bit at the Bar Citizen. He's really big into dogfighting, and he was part of Renegade Squadron, I think. But he was very, very thoughtful and analytic about the whole mechanic of flight and dogfighting and aiming in the pips and whatnot. And he was really talking about how it needs to be good for the broadest part of the community, not just for the people that are really hardcore PvP, battle royale, arena commander, leaderboards at the top level elite dogfighters. It needs to be geared to the broader community so that everybody can have an enjoyable experience, because you don't want to turn off the people that are just part-time dogfighters or do a little bit of combat here and there. So yeah, and it's interesting the different feedback that people have. And he was talking about how some of the people in one of the dogfighting orgs were actually derived from an FPS org, so they were really more focused on aiming and pixel perfect aim, because that's what they do with FPS, rather than the actual flight model. And how so weighing the different kinds of feedback on people who have different agendas for what they're trying to get CIG to do is pretty important.
Yeah, and that was a great conversation with Gold when we was talking about, it being, it was the FPS guys versus the gamers versus, all these different groups. And it's true, because if you come into it, where, because I know my group, we have specifically FPSers, they're never going to fly. So it's, it's that thing of if they want that Twitch kind of shooting, because FPS is the only thing they do. So, but yeah, it's going through all that knowledge and just chewing it apart and taking real data out of it and actually making changes. That was pretty impressive the way they were doing that. So,
and one of the things that I dived into some of the images that they showed there. If you click that, the first
dove,
divided.
If you click that,
I dove into
backer survey chart, the imager file.
Oh, okay.
So this was some interesting data points, because the community has talked about from the very beginning of the user surveys of what are people interested in Star Citizen.
Yep.
And
exploration, number one.
Exploration is number one. I mean,
that's mine.
It's the top of the list.
Yep, like cargo and trade,
cargo, and I think maybe mining. No, not mining. Mining
research.
Trade, cargo, and
it's cut off anyway. Trade, cargo, and I'm guessing mining. No, mining's down the further list.
No, mining's down further down. So yeah, so
it's probably mission running. It's got to be mission running.
Science and research.
But yeah, so exploration is top,
again. Woo!
And then trade and cargo are secondary, and then science and research. So of the community, the three top interests are non-combat.
Yeah. Well, let's ask the chat, because I'm curious to see, because I know there's one guy in here that likes to murder people. What are you guys looking forward to? Piracy and exploration, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, there's going to be a lot of that. I know exploration. I think the biggest thing that really tweaked me and got me interested in Star Citizen initially was the fact that they said that you can actually go out and search and scan and find wormholes or anomalies and things like that, and then sell that data. I thought that was the coolest thing, because no real game has done that yet. So like even Eve tried to do it and they just failed miserably on the execution. Being space rich. Yeah, that's another good one. But yeah, that I love selling data.
We're already space rich.
Space rich. Right. You're in the yacht club, baby. Base building. Oh, that's another really good one. Yeah, is that on the list? Let's see. Search and rescue, mining,
exploration, anti-piracy.
Yeah, building is not. Maybe. Oh, maybe that's manufacturing. Trade, cargo, no, maybe not. I don't know.
How is trade cargo different from transport? Unless they mean people. They must mean people.
Trade, cargo, and something. Yachts, blackjack party, and more yachts. I like this guy.
I like that.
Stormtrooper, you're a good friend of mine.
Stormtrooper is a jump clubber, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah,
Smug's
I mean,
good to
it seems
see
like
you.
we have a good group of a good spread in the chat too, because that's
Salvage
it's
mining.
good to see.
Lots of different things, but yeah. So I loved seeing that is still in the current.
It's
community.
material transport. Sorry, I should have flipped to the next
there
one.
we go. Material transport.
Yep.
Yeah, I grabbed both charts. So there's the actual number of votes for each one of those things. So 842, 559, 511. So
that's pretty cool.
So the majority of the community's top interests are non-combat.
Yeah.
So yeah, like JJ said, yachts, doing yacht things,
doing yacht stuff.
mining, manufacturing to support building.
890M sometime in the future. Yeah, don't count on it.
Don't count on
it. Beam weapon variant, right?
Can we get a 890 Builder Edition? The one where we can piece it together.
We're interested in something that wasn't even on the list, like partying in space.
Yes. Yeah. Space DJ.
Was
Space
not
DJ.
an option.
That's what I'm gonna be doing.
We just want to have parties and fly around and look at stuff. Well, I guess that falls under exploration and transporting
touring.
booze.
I think it's touring.
Yes, touring.
Exploration.
Touring. So, and then we had the weekly newsletter.
Oh wait! You're gonna probably irritate a lot of people if you skip the Defender.
Skip ahead.
Skip the Defender.
Oh
yeah.
shit! I forgot about the Defender.
Oh shit!
I'm skipping past.
Fired.
Fired.
How can you forget about the Defender?
Defender is
blind spots.
Defender is looking amazing.
They said
that they would
organic.
take care of that and adjust the cockpit view there, so it would be in a better position. So it would not have.
We'll see.
It's much biased.
They also said the Car 2L had 2 seats. So.
Yeah. Well, they lied.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure I like the side by side setup, but it's very organic. It's very liney.
Well, so what's important to me, because I don't own a Defender, but I own a couple of Banner Merchantmen, and so
I have one.
This is
the
precursor to the Banu art style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
The
materials are really what make it look really shine. I mean, if you look at some of the materials, they look really organic, and it's cool.
Yeah, and that's what they're talking about here in creating the special textures that are specifically for the Banu and all these unique details that the Banu have. So it doesn't quite reflect the really ornate concept art that we saw for the Banu Merchantman from several years ago. That was just like, holy shit, that was the sexiest thing ever.
Yeah, I remember
we're
that.
Not actually getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
There's quite a bit there because I mean this is also a much smaller platform too, and it's a much smaller ship. I can't wait to see the cockpit. They didn't really show a whole lot of the cockpit because if you look at like the Car 2O and the Sentokai, they're very they're see through. You could see a lot, and I really like that in a fighter. So and with the way that looks though, you get those two big arms out there. I don't know if it's gonna be very visually easy to look at it. So
I wish I could find that picture.
Pilot is not a gunner. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, either way, it's cool to see the materials and the whole, because they said it's a new ship logic altogether. So it should be really cool to see.
Yeah, the whole design style is going to be very, very alien and unique to the. Yeah,
they're nailing that. There's no question on that one.
And he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
So it's Josh Coons, Josh Hippie Coons, I think.
Yep.
So he's one of their main LA studio ship designers who's done the Phoenix and a lot of Drake stuff. He's done a lot of Drake stuff.
That poor soul.
No, he does good work. That's why Drake looks good.
Some people like Drake.
Yeah, some people. They're not in here. No, I'm just kidding. They probably are. All right, now you can move on. Now, since we touched on the ugly Defender.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we had the newsletter there. We've got a link.
Yep. Free your mind, and your fight will follow. That's how Cyrnus would say. That's like logic by Cyrnus.
Yeah, well, they're talking about the free fly events, so they are having the free fly with a lot of ships available.
I rephrased it. I said your fight will follow.
Lots
follow. Thank you for the follow, guy. Captain Ryder. We missed Captain Ryder and Smugs following. Thank you very much.
And,
anyway, yes, it is also a lyric.
Yeah, so they've got the community stuff. They've got a picture of the panel from BritizenCon, a little ways down. If you scroll down there, various upcoming meetups from last weekend.
Yeah.
So they are alerting the audience. So they were advertising that they're having a subscriber exclusive Star Citizen live audience event on May 17th. So anybody who is in the LA area could get on that list.
Oh, that was not the right link.
I need a hero, and then the at the very end the skull helmet.
Oh yes, this looked very cool.
There's a Bar Citizens. There's a subscriber thing. Helmet.
Hey, cool ass!
Cool.
Back for more. Thanks for the follow. The skull helmet. The question is, are you dead already if you have to wear it, or is that just a hologram?
No, that's.
Or is it just
a skull and a helmet?
Is it just hanger flare like the Van Dole skull?
Hey, no. Do you want that in your hanger?
Really?
I feel like that's going to give me an uncomfortable feeling of how quickly space can kill you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
Keep
you're
it
going
in
to
your
look like.
ship as a reminder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Don't go out there without this helmet.
Yeah.
Or else.
Wear your helmet. Look, it'll protect your head.
That's good.
I
No, there was
just
a
wanna
lot
know
of good
how
stuff in
he's
there.
Degraded into bone inside the helmet.
Well, cleanly, yeah, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you would think if anything, it would have been, you would have aged and it would have, probably like fermented in there. Oh, that'd be nasty. Can you clean my helmet out, please?
I need a new helmet.
No. I'm going to go with no on that. Anyway. Roadmap. Want to go to the roadmap first? Or?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, wait. Before we move over to that, I found the picture that I was looking for of the old Banu Merchantman concept art. That we're not gonna get right underneath backer survey.
Right underneath
Merchantman corridor habitation. So
there we go. Okay.
This is what we're not. This is what we're not getting.
Wow. I never seen this one.
You never saw this? Holy
no,
shit,
I never saw
man.
this picture. No.
All right,
I've seen some of the other ones. I thought
this was from like 2016. So like three years ago.
Sale, 2017.
How big is that? I mean,
no. This was before. This was the year before the Defender sale. This was
this was released with the Defender sale.
No, not this image. This was way before the Defender sale.
Pendle says 2014.
It was a random image in a newsletter or the monthly report or something.
Oh, maybe it was a sneak peek image.
Yeah. So this was early concept art of the T9. Could have joined a teaser with what we're not getting.
You're not getting.
So this was indicative of the future potential concepting of the Banu Merchantman. This was the habitation corridor where the crew quarters are going to be somewhere inside of the ship, and just
do they
all
have
the
like
detailing.
how big's a person in that? I mean, is it like is that lighted? Because that looks like massive.
This is a perspective thinking in your head.
I mean something over on the left hand side
The
might
camera
be
is on the floor.
door. Yeah, I mean we're low,
Okay.
so
Because it looks
I'm
like I
thinking,
could fly a ship down that. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
It's like a
no,
hangar.
it's like, yeah, no, I think it's a normal size,
it's just a
fairly
P-way.
large
Or
corridor.
passageway.
Yeah,
8
regular,
foot, really?
regular corridor.
Yeah, I guess that could be an 8-foot ceiling.
Probably.
Yeah,
Your heads are
maybe
gonna
about,
hit.
about
Yeah.
that. But
Pretty neat.
Needs a
Yeah, it
banana
was
for
pretty-
scale.
yes.
So again, let's
it's
talk
bad.
about what we're not getting.
Place is
No,
small.
it's the ornateness of the floor and the way
Yes,
that all the
so-
materials look that really.
Yeah, so they're
All the
going
detail
for
that would kill your graphics
a lot of
card.
kind of organic detail. Well, I mean, they've gotten really good about the way that they do detailing and texturing that is very light on graphics usage, but it was just like it's absolutely stunning. So they're heading towards something similar, but not quite exactly like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what
Well,
they are
we'll see.
achieving,
I mean, there's still a
is
lot
pretty
to be left out there, right? So we'll see on that one. Because I'm going to be very curious about that too. Because that looks gorgeous, and if you look at the material, if you think alien, you think ornate,
Yeah.
you think like Egyptian type inscription, that type of very finite,
exactly.
took its time,
Well,
done by hand.
Because the Banu are supposed to be another the Xeon and the Banu are very old races, and they live in these ships. These are generational ships that are passed down through the families from generation to generation, and they live on these ships, and so they're not just spaceships. I mean, they're homes for the Banu. So
yeah, and that's very true.
Yeah, so it's a whole different type of aesthetic, of lifestyle, of concept of spaceship as home, and long generational legacy, as opposed to just utilitarian item like Drake or Aegis or Anvil, where it's just well, this is a tool to get you and achieve a mission of some sort. There's some career focus.
Well, yeah, you just nailed the point though. You live in it, and if you live in it, you kind of want it to feel like home. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's going to turn out to be a good ship. Just
no,
No,
it's probably better that they started with the Defender too, as opposed to trying to do the BMM, because the BMM is probably the second, behind the Carrack is probably the second most anticipated ship, I would think. Because those two
Carrack
definitely. Yeah, I
definitely
think they got to get those right.
Most anticipated ship,
or else the salt shall come.
Yeah,
the salt shall flow.
The salt shall flow.
Salt shall flow.
What do we have next?
We have
Star Citizen Live.
Yeah,
Todd Pappy,
which was awesome.
Holy shit! Did everybody watch that? That was so much information that Todd Pappy was just.
Yeah,
bam,
the best part,
bam.
and I've said this
So
before.
much
Yeah,
stuff.
with Todd, he's just
He
he's yes, no. There's no maybes. There's no softening it. There's no sweetness. There's no salt. It's just, and I love that about him. So that was a great bit of information.
Yeah. So I watched it twice.
You
some
had
of us
to.
here did not watch it at all. No names, Dr. Murray.
Oh. You missed a good one.
I took a bunch of notes, and I thought it was funny that one of the first things they talked about was that they didn't like using the VoIP, the voice over IP.
No, the way he said it was I don't use VoIP. That was just great, because he's just like, I don't use
how do you like VoIP? I don't use VoIP.
I don't use VoIP. That's what I thought was great.
And the Disco said he doesn't use VoIP either. And so they talked about that a little bit, and that's very much, and I've had a lot of conversations with people in the community. Some people kind of view VoIP as, okay, well, if you're sitting in a bar and everybody's talking, it has that kind of realistic, everybody in the bar socializing, talking, or in on the bridge of your ship or something like that. But generally, I don't like talking in games. I like typing. I'm much more of a chat person, usually I'm doing 6 or 8 different.
Get with the future, Duran. Get with the future. It's about talking.
No, it's I was
Talking
everything
more.
he was saying about it was dead on.
Text chat is so 1999.
Yeah, but chat's effective because I don't want to be bothered with it, right? I want to jump in, I want to game, I want to do my thing. Now, if I'm working with a squad, that's entirely different, which was exactly what he said. It's like, I'm working with a squad, yeah, you got to be in touch, but I don't want to jump on and talk to a bunch of people I don't know. I'm not a social person. I'm just here to have fun.
Just be randomly in voice with people. It's like hearing people talking with, it's like, having their kids in the background or their dogs or stuff like that, or it's like, or their mom's like, oh mom, I don't want to get off my game right now. I'm in the middle of Vandal Swarm, or it's like, I don't want to hear all that stuff. People eating or slurping or drinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. No, I mean, he brought up a good point about it. I mean, it's just like there's two things about it too. Is one, it's not there yet. It's not as immersive to feel it yet. But on the other fact is like I'm not a socialite. I'm not a person that reaches out to talk to people unless I'm drinking heavily and I'm in a bar with them. That's entirely different.
Yeah, always on, and you have to push the talk to use it.
Oh, I don't want to hear other people though.
It should be.
I want to hear other people that are trying to sneak around where I already am. Like if I'm in a shipwreck, I want to be able to hear people chatting to each other, so I know where they are.
That's different then. Maybe I'll turn it on for that.
People need to use VoIP instead of Discord, though.
Mom,
because
bring
in
me
Discord,
more cheesy poofs.
Right, but I know you're there now, cheesy poofs, so I can shoot you in the face.
Yeah, you're gonna want to hear them then.
You're not gonna sneak up on me.
That's exactly when they're not gonna use it, though. So. Do they make it mandatory?
No,
that's a good question.
Well,
right?
I think if people are on, so if you're on a combat mission, and are you in local talk? Because you don't want to talk locally with your team when you're in a combat mission.
You have to.
Like when Mystic and I go and do NPC clearing missions in the underground bunkers.
But it's people you know.
Yeah,
right.
Well, but we don't do VoIP in game. We talk in a private channel on Discord, right? Because you don't want to be
why?
So if you are in game and you're talking and so if you've done the outpost clearing missions and you go down and you're sneaking in, you hear the NPCs talking as they're coming towards you. It's like, oh, I hear somebody, we're going to go and attack them. You don't want to be letting the enemy know where you are.
Sure.
So you're not going to be doing that in a first-person shooting PvP.
Well, yeah, unless you could force it too.
Right?
It's never going to happen. So.
Yeah, so you do want to be in voice comms, but you want to be in a direct call or in a private room with your team, not open chat.
But it would be better if you were in open chat.
It would be better if you could force everyone to it.
Voice chat, because
that's what I mean. It would be better if everyone was in the same chat channel and you could hear them at a certain radius. You can hear them talking. That would be perfect. Because then you know exactly how far away you are. You didn't hear them a step ago. You take another step, you hear them talking. You know you're inside that bubble of like 25 meters. That's way too far. Like 5-10 meters.
Unless you got like cat hearing,
shouting.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
close enough to know they're there, and it would be better to hear people chatting, talking to each other, just carrying on their day. They think they're at an empty wreck site. They're not in Discord trying to plot how to attack.
But it's a game, right? How do you?
You
can't force them. You can't force them to use it. So. Like me, I multi-box, so I game on one box and I chat on another and Discord on another. So you wouldn't even be able to force that.
Yeah, and I've got my game, I've got Discord, I've got Spectrum. I might have another Discord.
Right.
And I might be talking to people in 5 different channels all at the same time, and it's just it's hard to multitask like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Okay, so.
Anyway, there's a lot more in that.
Because he did cover a lot of stuff. So somebody asked about shareable missions. That they're not going to be doing those real soon. I know it's a high demand by the community. Everybody wants that, but apparently there's a lot of technical hurdles that they're working on to implement actually sharing missions, establishing the baseline, and a lot of edge cases for that. made a note about. So he's the director of Star Citizen Live. So there's
Well, he was talking
various
about the pillars.
directors. Yeah, so there's different pillars of technology that the different directors are over. So he's the director of Star Citizen Live. So essentially the live game environment, and Tony Z is over the persistent universe, which includes a lot of other things like the economy and AI and subsumption, things like that.
Friend.
Not what I meant. No, go on. I'm trying to type and do 7 other things with the broadcast at once.
Mountain Friends.
Mountain Friends. That's right. We're all getting close here.
So then he was talking about the law system, which is going to be implemented a couple of patches from now. And what I thought was interesting there was that the SOLED, the solar system editor, will be able to populate law systems. And so SOLED, for those who haven't seen it, is the tool that builds the universe. So everything that builds planets, space stations, asteroids, everything on the planets, the biomes, the cities, the outposts, literally populates everything in a star system, is the solar system editor. And this is the tool that they're building and refining to build the universe. And they're refining that in the current alpha for the Stanton system. So we have Crusader, we have Hurston, we have 4 moons at Crusader, we have 4 moons at Hurston, we've got two or three moons at ArcCorp, we've got multiple Lagrange points and space stations around those. So the solar system editor automatically populates these with all the object containers and nested containers. And so what he was saying is that the law systems will be plugged into the solar system editor, and that will populate different law areas around each of the solar systems. So like Hurston space will have its own law system. So the Stanton system consists of 4 planets that were sold to corporations, and each of those corporations maintains their own law in those areas. But in other systems, the UEE will maintain around the whole system. In other star systems, they're going to be controlled by potentially various orgs or pirate groups or various other non-state actors, as they say on the news today, and the law systems will create law bubbles in those areas of space.
Yeah, automatically, and then like stretch them and change them at will.
Yeah, and so your reputation that you may have broken the law in one area may not necessarily carry over to another law system that doesn't recognize the laws of the other area.
Yeah.
So I
know wars and like different types of things can change that with conflicts between organizations and which are that all can change. So so it's good that it can be highly dynamic.
You might be an outlaw smuggler in one area, and you might be a highly regarded merchant in another area, where it's like you're lawful over here, but you're unlawful over there. Really, just you're just transporting goods. So
and you mentioned that too about the goods things. Too.
Yeah, and so these are the kinds of little things they'll say certain small things that when you piece them together, it's this huge puzzle of the whole development project and process that you put them together, and they build these pictures of things that they're doing, and this is kind of how it's like every single thing that they put out. And if you really study it with a microscope, you piece this stuff together, but it's hard. It's a full-time job. It really is, and a lot of people have trouble following these things at that level.
Mm-hmm. So it's that dynamic nature that's going to give us the 100 systems as opposed to just 2 or 1 or like everyone keeps harping on.
Yeah. We have half of one right now.
Half of one, yeah.
So then travel times, multi-cruise ships doing other things. He mentioned Luke going to Dagobah in a single-seat ship. So he talked about So they
Luke
didn't
took a
show
nap.
that. So everybody's complaining about the travel times between systems, especially if you're in a smaller ship like an Aurora or a Mustang or a single seater.
It's not everybody.
And
There's a
a
vocal
lot of
group, but it's not everybody. I know plenty of people who say they like the travel times. They think it adds to the game.
Yes,
So,
most of them have bigger ships.
It really does.
no, I know one of them. All he has is an Aurora. He's my test subject.
Good.
Your test subject.
Well, actually,
What do you have him in a test tube or something?
He's my control.
He's your test noob.
Right.
That's terrifying. but totally believable.
No, that's great. But I actually know you have a good point. I have talked with other people, and also, I've gotten into some Twitch streamers chats. They're new to the project, and they're in there and they're loving it. I mean, it's like it feels like they're in space, and it feels like they're traveling distances.
Mm-hmm.
Like Star Trek Enterprise, when they traveled between systems, it took time between this place and that place, and they would go and they would hang out at the bar.
And you go do stuff, and
and they'd go back to their cabin, they'd go to the bar, hang out with.
They
Whoopi
play
Goldberg.
chess with a Wookiee. Trying to get their arms ripped off.
I'm saying they would Garblock or something like that. Not really chess.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was called, but yeah. So like in Star Trek, they'd go to the holodeck, and they'd have these things on the holodeck as they're traveling. Or in the Millennium Falcon, they go play chess, they go around, they work on the ship, they do maintenance and stuff like that. So these are things that you do while you're traveling. But if you're in a single seat ship, there's not a lot of shit to do. I mean, it takes time.
Especially like a fighter, like an Aurora, or like Aurora, you can get out of the seat, but you can't really do much in crawl in bed.
Yeah, there's not really much in there. But
it's just like being on a real ship in the Navy, like on the sub. That's what we did, was all travel time. We didn't go anywhere.
Terrible.
It was just travel time.
Yeah.
Floating around doing
99.9% of the time you're going somewhere.
We were always moving, but never going anywhere.
Remoto says, I would hate to be the tech that cleans the holodeck.
I don't want to think about that one. The captain had his sexy time. Oh, not me.
but I thought it was funny that he mentioned that they didn't show that time of Luke traveling to Dagobah, that he was in an X-wing, and God knows how many days. However long it was,
and you looked at, and he was like, R2 was like ready for him to take a nap, like we're going to, and it was looking like he was going back to take a nap, so it probably took a while.
Yeah, but so they glossed over that, but that was going to be boring as shit, and it's like you had to pee in a spacesuit because you're in a single seat fighter, you can't get up, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything.
The X-wing has a built-in waste exhaust system.
Because there was a great question. There's no toilet. There's no toilet in single-seater fighters.
There's no toilet.
So then another interesting thing that he talked about was the probability bubbles. So as you're traveling between spaces, there's probability bubbles that there's certain probabilities of things may occur. So right now, we're experiencing interdiction. So you might get interdicted. But what he was talking about is in the future that there might be things that you choose to drop out of quantum for. So there might be a distress signal. There might be an anomaly where there might be an asteroid belt with minerals or derelicts or salvage or something. So your scanners might pick up something as you're traveling that you might want. If you're not in a hurry, you might want to drop out and see what's going on there. So you might discover this rich ore deposit in this asteroid field that isn't on any chart that you just happen to pass by, or there might be a derelict with it's like capital ship components. It's like, holy shit, I could sell that to somebody, and that's worth hundreds of thousands of UEC.
This is something I like to call the Skyrim factor, because I know every time I sat down to play Skyrim and I had a mission, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do this mission, and then you never get there. But I mean, that's half the fun, right? It's like, because you never would have seen that.
Time on side quest. Exactly.
Right.
And that's the travel and the other things that might happen. And so people aren't anticipating these things out in the future.
Intermediate distractors. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I hope it's not too many, but at the same time, I really hope it's,
Oh Oh, okay. So Junkyard in Space is saying another concern that he has is the NPE, new player
New
experience.
player experience,
Using
yeah.
the Mustang and Aurora, the fact that you are given both a Mustang and an Aurora,
What?
because you're giving an
Yeah,
Aurora if you have a Mustang,
I actually agree with this.
because one fights and one hauls cargo is completely BS. How are they to know which does which, and why can't they both fight and do cargo? Okay, so the reason that they do that is because the Mustang cargo elevator isn't working.
Oh, right.
They should get that working. So the reason that you get an Aurora is because the Mustang, you can't get any shit into it. You can't put if you're doing cargo box delivery missions, which are the number one way for new players to make money, is you pick up a box and you walk up to your Mustang and you open the canopy and you can't do anything with it. So
Right.
you're fucked. So they give you an Aurora because you can put it in the back. And really, we're an alpha, and unfortunately,
And
shit's
you
not
want to
working.
run a lot as a new
and-
player. Don't bother
Yeah,
fighting.
right. So I mean, it's like the Aurora can fight, the Mustang can fight. The Aurora you can put a box into it. The Mustang you can't put a box into it. It's alpha. It's very problematic. It's a pain in the ass, and it's really a pain in the ass for new players. I
But
completely
it's the
admit
fact that they thought of that and made the alternative.
they're
That's
working
what's
on
neat.
that. So,
Yeah.
and I always recommend the Mustang to new players because it's worth $5 more than the Aurora. So when you go to upgrade to the Avenger Titan, which every newbie should upgrade to, it's either $20 or it's $25. So you should definitely get a Mustang and use your Aurora until you upgrade to the Avenger Titan, which everyone should do right away. So
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's a great ship.
fuck the starter ship anyway.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's here. If
what-
you're serious.
Since 3.0, the best ship in the game has been the Avenger Titan.
Avenger
really
Titan,
has been.
3.0,
It used to
the
be, like,
Avenger Titan's been the
unhittable.
best- it's been the best starter ship since 2.0, and I upgraded my Aurora LN back in early 2016 when Noobifier put out a video saying that this is what you should upgrade to. It's like, well, that makes a lot of sense. So the Avenger Titan was my gateway ship to buying a lot more ships. Like, oh, it's only another $20. Like, oh,
It's worth
this
it.
ship's only another this. Like, this is that. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Here's a few $1,000s in space.
That's why the CCUS system works so well. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade.
upgrade.
All right,
Okay,
let's move on.
so moving right along, harvestable entity spawning. So we talked about this coming up on the roadmap in a couple of patches down the road. So Todd Pappy elaborated on this. So harvestable entity spawning is literally almost everything. So it's not just the harvestable entities; it's all the entities. So trees, plants, crates, anything randomly spawned, nested object containers, derelicts. So wrecked ships. So this is going to be part of the solar system editor and randomly spawning entities that are going to be harvestable or salvageable, things that you can interact with. You can mine asteroids, mineral deposits, rocks on the planets, all these things. So this is something that they're going to be implementing some new iterations on.
Yeah.
And then another thing that he mentioned that's incredibly important for people to remember is that if you don't see something on the roadmap, it does not include everything.
Doesn't mean
that
it's
they're
not
working on.
there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the things that are on the roadmap are things that they have a reasonable confidence that it's going to deliver in that quarter.
Right.
So there is a shit ton of stuff. Probably 2 or 3
Well,
times
little
more
things,
stuff.
little things that are
Right.
built inside things. Yeah, like
Well, no, there's
like
bi-
nested
bigger
containers.
things. Yeah, but I mean, there's much bigger things that they're working on, and he talked about like server side OCS. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not on the roadmap, and people keep asking. It's like, well, when are you going to deliver that? Where it's not on the roadmap? Are you working on that? It's a high priority. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking high priority. It's one of their biggest priorities. But they don't know. They don't know exactly when it's going to deliver, so it's not on the roadmap, and they have multiple teams working on this. So just because things
You
are
haven't
not
noticed
on the
Jordan's
roadmap,
getting towards triggered. He's getting there.
Yeah, we're trying to trigger out.
Right.
We're trying.
So T9 Sir, I think that our next emote when we qualify for it, should be a triggered emote.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes! It should be Jordan with a beer and a cane. A beer and a cane. Damn kids!
Damn kids!
That'd be great.
Whoa,
Yeah, that was loud.
Damn
I don't know what that
people.
was.
that was an encoding
No, one thing.
glitch.
The last bit about that was just the nested containers, because that I know is going to be hard, and they were already talking about it, and it was actually they're working on it. And it's actually going to be part of that generation system as well. So nested containers got to be the hardest thing. So anyway, moving right along.
We're still
right
in the
along.
first box.
I know we're going slow. Let's blow
We're-
through the next few.
We're in
things.
the we're in the third box now, Doc. We're in the third box now.
Oh, we're in the third box.
Our priorities, server meshings, OCS. Lots of people working on these things.
There was a lot in this. Highly recommend you guys watch this.
So much. I
Yeah.
mean, they covered so many things. I mean, and
Todd
for
Pappy
an
has that
hour?
kind of sexy human voice. He kind of like wants to talk you to sleep, but
and
it's
got,
worth
like,
watching.
those eyes
He's got a human
Those
voice,
eyes.
really?
Oh God!
and those eyes.
There we go,
I'm gonna give
right
you
off the
a
rails.
Shield tech effects. So you touched on sleek.
Yes,
shield
this was
tech
cool.
Effects. So it's not going to be just a bubble that's around the whole ship. It's going to be more form-fitting around the ship.
Well, that's for a while, though.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, but they're
they
actually
touched
working
on
on it. It's going to happen soon, so that was cool.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
3.6.
I think
We'll
that's
see
coming
when
to
it
3.6
happens.
also. Mission payouts, they're looking at new tech to manage, will be adjusted and balanced.
Yeah,
so-
he
so-
basically
so
he was
that-
like, "What do you think about the payouts?" He's like, "Yeah, they suck." I mean, it was basically like they were not adjusted at all.
Actually,
They need
they're
work.
not that bad. I mean, they've increased some of the payouts. I mean, you can make 7,000 or 8,000 UEC on a 20-minute box delivery.
Well,
mission.
one thing about that is it's not so much the payouts;
not bad.
it's the value of stuff in the verse. It still needs to be adjusted. So that's going to be coming. There's a lot of work there, but that we got another year of development at least, so they're going to iron that out. But anyway, player huts. This was really cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah. So
5 to 7 layers of player HUD.
Yeah, so they were talking about all the different types of player HUDs and layers. So like when you wake up out of your hab and you don't have a helmet on, you have like a contact lens implant in your eye. So like right now,
Because we're
you
the
see
upper
a very-
2%.
Yes. So you have your minor basic health HUD on your contact lens. But one of the things that we've all been complaining about is that if you take your helmet off, you can't see chat. And he said that's
Yeah.
essentially a bug. It should be in there. So very soon they're going to have that so that you'll be able to see chat without wearing a helmet. So I mean that's been a huge pain in the ass for everybody. And then also so that different spacesuits and helmet types will have different HUDs. So if you're in a combat helmet, you're going to have more of a combat focused HUD. If you're in an exploration helmet and spacesuit, you're going to be in a more one that's going to sense the environmental factors, the temperature, the atmosphere, oxygen levels, pressure, things like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then changing spawn locations, they asked about that. Future plans for new users to choose your initial spawn locations, but that's no time soon.
Well, and they made a good point. If you fly there, you can spawn off, although it wasn't really working very well there for some time.
Well, I guess one of the things,
there needs to be a definitive way to walk into a hab and go into sleep into a bed. Once they get that, I think that'll be way better.
We've all known that eventually you'll have a permanent home. You'll choose your home. You're either going to start on Terra, you're going to start on Cell, you're going to start on Earth.
Well, you're really supposed to not die.
That's your home. Yeah, well, depending on when
The reality is you're gonna start on
Try not to die.
Crusader, you're gonna start on
Yes, try not to die.
Yeah, wherever you start. But yeah, and that'll be a permanent home. But I mean, for the meantime, they're not planning on changing that. I think what people are really asking for, though, is to not have to always start on Olisar and then try to get someplace and then reset your spawn on a planet. Because, like we've had Rex on a couple of times, and when he has his ops, he'd prefer to be close to Hurston or ArcCorp,
Right,
but
yeah.
not actually on the surface of the planet. Because if you spawn in a hab in Lorville, you wake up from your hab, you have to go down the elevator, go from there, you have to go over to Metro Station, you have to get on a tram, go from there to a spaceport, and then take off,
Yeah,
and then
for
get
his ops,
into
it takes
atmosphere.
forever.
So it takes like 10, 15 minutes to get into orbit, and then go to some outpost where they're going to have an operation. But if they spawn at an orbital station, like Olisar
Yeah, you can
is the
start
orbital.
things really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Olisar is the orbital station for Crusader. If Hurston had an orbital station where you spawn there, you get on your ship, and then you can choose whatever location. You can go to one of the moons, you go to Aberdeen, you can go to one of the other moons there, you can go to one of the outposts much faster. And so I think that was one of the things that they were asking for that they didn't really address.
It was more in the new player experience
people
thing.
have.
You know,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you know, because it would be cool if you could
But-
start right in Laurelville or. But I mean,
But-
if you think about the way the intro videos for getting started up, they all are spawned from Olisar. So
I think every new player for the foreseeable future should have to
should
have
start.
the Olisar experience.
Yeah,
And
I would agree with that.
every
the
one of us,
the Olisar
had-
experience.
we had that first experience when we were noobs, and we woke up and we walked out onto a pad, and we looked up and we saw those huge fucking rings and Crusader up there, and it's like, holy
Yeah.
shit, this is immersion.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
and the fact you can keep
incredible.
flying
Can't wait for
towards them
Olisar to be
and actually get
different.
them.
Yeah.
Olisar needs to
Yeah,
be a little
well-
bit bigger, I think. But
Yeah, it's gonna
and I don't think they should
Yeah,
do
it'll change.
the four pad groups. But anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what they do to it.
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
turn it into a rest up.
I don't think they're going to change it into the rest of it, because we talked about this last week. I think that they're going to have multiple types of space stations by different
Yeah.
manufacturers. So right now the R&R rest stops are one particular design, and they have plans this year in upcoming patches. I think 3.7, 3.8. Where they're going to change some of the exterior variations on that, and then we're going to get the cargo stations, and then eventually they're going to have a lot more variety of space stations than what we have now. So remember that this is alpha, this is early alpha. Our space stations,
Yeah, I know. There's so much
all
more to
very
come
similar, and
because they've already
it's
said you
gonna
can have a
be
home
tremendous-
station where you. Yeah. Yep. All right.
tremendously varied. So
Player
moving right
carryables.
along,
That's a quick one.
Player carryables. Yeah, so 2.0 cleaning up the code, animations leading into physical inventory and inner thought menu instead of a mobi-glass. So changing around things, like taking your helmet off, you're going to be using an inner thought instead of
Right.
your mobi-glass.
Right.
And everything is going to be actually a physical inventory. So it's not all going to be magical bag of holding inventory where everything you own is in your mobi-glass. So that's going to change everything tremendously.
And then
Yeah.
Hopefully-
weapon
hopefully-
attachments.
Hopefully your closets and your weapons racks and things in your ships and your habs actually work when we get physical inventories, because we'll have to
Better.
actually have a place to put them.
Oh, now.
Get them.
They had better.
Now.
Right. They had better. Okay,
They
moving
will.
on to
Weapon
ship rentals.
attachments. No, weapon attachments.
Oh shit! I'm jumping ahead.
Ugh.
Don't skip.
Weapon-
That was one of the cool.
attachments.
Yeah,
That's
and
important.
there was a lot of data that they're going through to actually get this right, which I thought was really cool.
Did they actually look at real guns for a change?
Ha 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 ha. Maybe. No, but I mean, the whole point was the fact that they're going through that. Yeah, because it was the fact of you're dealing with a physical piece of thing now. It's not just an animation of when you have this configuration. This is where the crosshairs is. It's actually a piece of equipment that you have to. Everything lines up. So that was
you have to
they went
change
into
your
detail
head
about that.
position and everything.
Right, because if you put a butt stock that's 3 inches long in the other one, now your position to the scope changes, or position to iron sights. And he actually said it's a real thing, so it actually is a lot more difficult to just say, oh, well, here's a bunch of weapon attachments, and
Yeah.
away you go. So, yeah, pretty
Call
cool.
of Duty style.
Yeah, COD. That's right.
Woo!
Woo, woo. So, anyway, all right, now you can go on. Ship rentals.
Oh, I was actually answering Junkyard in Space. He was saying that he believes that salvage is going to be pushed to 2020. It's definitely 2020 because it's not on the roadmap for anything before that. Though there is no salvage prior to next year.
Oh, that's
we're
a good point.
I mean, we're in 2019. Salvage is not a priority for this year. A lot of people really want salvage. We might get small salvage where we can actually remove some components later in the ships when we get physical inventories and that sort of thing. But unfortunately, salvage is one of those mechanics that's not on this year's roadmap, so that'll be next year.
Which is gonna be awesome, because if you think about it, every time Cernus goes in there and shoots at somebody, you're gonna have salvage.
I'm pretty sure salvage is on the roadmap, like for December for
I was
3.8.
just looking.
Yeah, no,
for
it's small hand salvage of
I-
like removing.
Oh yeah, the multi-tool, yeah, multi-tool salvage.
I don't think it's multi-tool salvage. I think it's just removing.
Oh,
components. So like, you
not
actually take,
Okay, because that
take the component out. Aw, it's, that's
you're
adorable.
knocking over the green screen. No worries. We're really in a spaceship.
So cute.
We are real people doing
yeah,
a real
so-
stream. We don't get paid for this, clearly.
So ship rentals to allow players to try out new ships. They're still trying to decide on how many days, how much it's going to cost, what kind of timer it's going to be, real world or in game. Edge cases, like what happens to the cargo when the timer runs out. So
Right.
I was trying to figure out, so how is ship renting not going to take away from incentivizing people to buy ships? Well, ship renting is only for brief periods of time. So, like if you rent a car from
Right, rental. Mm-hmm.
from Hertz or Avis, you pay a shitload for it. You're paying $50-$100 a day or whatever it is.
what?
Yeah,
I don't know where he's renting cars from, but
I
that's
don't know
okay.
where you're renting cars
Alright.
from, but it's like
Alright.
$24 a day for me.
I'd like to have one of those.
30, 40,
Get the
50 bucks.
insurance.
Yeah, I think once I got one for $14.99 a day.
I travel in the Caribbean, and it's expensive, and you always get the insurance, and it's like $25 for the insurance. It's like ad nauseum. So it's like, but renting
Anyway.
is always much more expensive than actually paying to own. So I think that the rental prices are going to be reasonable for people to be able to pay for, but a lot less expensive than buying, like a Hammerhead for $21 million.
Yeah. Rent. Well, no, it's just the fact that you can actually rent something, and get a new experience in something. I think that's really cool.
Yep. Junkyard says the description says states in a ship or on foot for the salvage, but I don't think that we have any ships that are going to be salvaged. I think like you can get out of your ship and pull out components from other ships to salvage those. Because that's going to be probably the easiest thing for them to implement is removing a power plant or removing a cooler or something like that and pulling that back over into your ship and taking that and selling it. So there's a lot of things that are going to be involved in that whole mechanic that they have to implement. It's like we can't sell things in game yet. We can't transfer money in game yet. We can't interact with our ship components yet. We can't even open a door that has a component yet. So and
Yeah.
there's
Well,
a
we
lot
can
of
open the
a
door.
lot of things.
Some of them.
Well, and there's a couple of cabinets. Right, so multi-tool. They plan on having cutting, welding, mining, salvage, gameplay systems. So multi-tools quite a ways down the road. Mission systems, showing location information, what kind of ship you'll need, multiple players. Oh, so on the missions, they're not showing where your missions are going to be when you select the mission in the mobiGlas, but they want to implement that down the road at some point. And then misfires and component degradation. I thought this was interesting that they're putting a lot of emphasis into the component degradation and misfires, and the percentage of degradation affects your chances of misfires. The quality of your components affects the misfires versus how degraded they are, how fast they'll degrade. Repairing your components is possible, but if you refurbish your items, they're not going to be able to get back up to 100% brand
Right,
new.
yeah,
They'll only be,
90%
yeah,
ish.
90, 95, 99%. And then you can buy refurbished items that have been repaired
Yes.
less expensively than buying new items.
Right.
Well,
So,
here's the cool
they're
thing about
putting a
refurbs.
lot of that.
Well, here's the cool thing about refurbs. Like current day, there's a lot of items that you could buy that are refurb that are actually better than the original because they fixed the problem that was in it. I'm wondering if they're gonna
Yeah.
carry that forward.
I don't think so.
I know
think
it would be
they're gonna
hard
be-
to, but
They're going to be lower grade than having a brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they do that.
Perfect.
I don't know.
They're gonna be
Anyway.
like 95% instead of 100%.
Yeah.
95-ish.
Yeah, but that's
Or
like
90%.
that's like with a lot of MMO shields and weapons, and it's like you're using them, you go into battle, and they start degrading, and you have to go to the blacksmith, and you have to repair them. You do it yourself, or you have somebody else repair them. And I don't remember what game it was.
Questionable
where-
blacksmith from questionable area.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's like I don't.
I gave
remember
you a
what game it
sword.
was
Why did
where
I get a mallet back?
you could
It's
never
still a
fully
weapon.
repair your items. Like every
Fair
time you
enough.
repaired it, so if you had like a sword that had 30 of 30, and then it wore down to like 7 of 30, and then you had it repaired, and it would only repair to like 25. And each time you repaired it, the total health of the item would go down, and kind of seems like that's what they're going to be having in this. Like that goes way back in my RPG days.
Wow, that's digging. That's digging a little bit.
Yeah, 'cause, like most of the ones that I've seen, Mystic said that Dark Age of Camelot did that. I didn't play that one, but I'm thinking
Oh, yeah, it
all the way
did.
back to like something way back when. But
Yes,
yeah,
you can,
there's-
Agent.
there's some.
Agent just asked, can you spawn a ground vehicle without a ship disappearing? Yes, you can.
Well,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Well,
Right.
no,
Okay, so right now in 3.5, it is
It's worked for
all
me.
fucked up. It is all it is all fucked up right now.
That's an official term.
One of the guys in the jump club was saying it's like he stepped out of his Ursa and he turned around and it got stored. Like
Yeah.
things are getting
It worked
stored
for me the other day.
way too.
I mean,
fast.
literally,
like
no,
2
days
sometimes
ago.
it does, sometimes it
It's
doesn't.
hit and miss.
So it's hit and miss. But I mean, right now
Let's go with
the
maybe.
ship storing and vehicle storing is not working as intended. Not working
As intended, yes.
Yes.
But
So
it's a known bug.
be patient.
And if you know it's a bug,
We're in alpha.
please report it. Because then it'll
Yes,
get
please
higher up the
report it.
list. Yeah,
my ship is
Yeah.
stored.
yeah it'll
My
get higher
ship
up the
was
list.
stored unexpectedly.
Yes.
Oh, and then so Disco was saying how.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This didn't surprise me at all. Somehow, Disco wants to fly around the universe in a junker jalopy.
In a
spaceship.
jalopy.
Just-
Yeah, in a jalopy.
In a jalopy spaceship that barely works, that barely gets him from point A to point B.
Smoke flying out the back and everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
smoking and rattling.
I'll probably have one of those.
Yeah.
It'll be that little bastard ship I just can't seem to get rid of.
I'll call it my Audi.
Oh, snap. You would know a good car if you actually...
Shots
Yes,
fired.
Shots fired, but
Shots fired.
it goes nowhere because you can't fire that. Anyway. Quantum travel effects. I like this.
Quantum travel effects.
It was mainly against the AI that I like this, that they're actually thinking about this.
Well, no, they were actually. One of the things, part of what they were talking about here was, so when you go into quantum and the whole ship is kind of shaking and shuddering, and you're standing in your ship and everything is shaking and shuddering while you're in quantum, that's not a great experience. But what they were saying is that might vary by type of ship. So if you're like in an Origin ship, you might have a much smoother ride. But if you're in like a
Origin
Valkyrie,
ship. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, but I mean, if you're in a Drake or an Anvil or an Aegis, where your travel experience isn't as important, and you don't have as high a grade component or something like that, and it's a rougher, more shaky kind of experience.
Yeah, Firefly makes a good point.
yeah.
I think it should be up to the ship's mass. Firefly says, I don't think big ships should be shaky, and I agree with that because, you think about how much it takes to move that much mass.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that they're intending there, but they did say that is going to vary. So like right now, I fly the Valkyrie a lot because it's a great ship in the current alpha that we have, Good in and out of atmosphere speeds, good quantum speeds. You can put vehicles in it. Mystic and I always run around and grab cyclones and do a bunch of silly stuff, so it works well. But it's very shaky inside, so it's
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where it probably would be really shaky if it was real, but at the same time, I feel like if you're in a bigger ship, you shouldn't really feel that. I mean, just for the sake of being a game.
Yeah, well, and you have a bigger quantum drive. It's faster. It's more efficient. It creates a more stable quantum bubbles or something like that. So,
oh, that's a good point. Hendall makes a good point where he says, the quality of the component. Maybe you got a higher end like acceleration dampener and a quantum.
Yeah, grade A versus a grade B or grade C. The higher
grade G, you lose your teeth. I didn't need those anyway. Drake ships, Drake ships. You have to go pick up your organs in the cargo hold.
Green zones. So this was a very interesting part of the conversation about green zones, restricted areas, armistice zones, and
it's a versus thing.
It was what?
Well, it's a versus thing. It was green zones versus armistice zones versus no-fly zones. There was a bunch of differences.
Yeah, well, and that they want to do away with armistice zones as they have them now, and they've talked about that quite a bit over time. They don't want to have armistice zones where you can't actually pull out your weapon. I mean, if you have a weapon on you, like there will be consequences. So there'll be automated turrets, there'll be security. Like when you're on Hurston, if you go into Lorville with the crime set, you're shot dead instantly. So it's like they're very aggressive.
Yeah, which is kind of the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this guy's a fucking wanted criminal. It's like dead. If you walk into a bar and you pull a gun, you're gonna get shot.
You're gonna get shot, right, especially in Grim Hex. So you're definitely gonna get shot.
Their intent is at some point in time to do away with the armistice zones, but the no-fly zones like we have over Lorville and that they want to have better visual effects so that they're not so glaring and obtrusive visually. So I mean, this was still very early iterations, but they also want to kind of reduce that. So right now they're at 300 to 400 meters. They might take that down to 100 meters. They've changed that already from instantly blowing you up to taking over your IFCS system to autopilot you away from the no-fly zone. But there's going to be a lot of places in the future that they don't have the no-fly zones, and that was one of the things that excited me. And I was talking with having a conversation, I think, in the Jump Club. I think, it was actually Bruin Shaw. He was talking about how he wants to be able to have a Wild West experience where he touches down and he walks into
Bruin
town. And it's like the cops are chasing him and he ducks into a house and he holds somebody hostage until they get by, and he ducks out, and it has this very free flowing Wild West kind of experience.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that they've talked about is going back to develop more areas on the planet of Hurston where there's towns. So right now we have one major city landing zone, but we don't have any other areas. So they want to go back to add other towns and other areas where you can land, and they're not going to have no-fly zones. Is what Todd Pappy was saying in
eventually,
his talk. Yeah, so you'll be able to land in the town. So they're not as critical areas as like Lorville or Area 18.
Yeah, because there's no predefined rules. There's no predefined law. I mean, yeah.
So I thought that was interesting as far as their thought processes for the future, where they're not going to have as strict a no-fly zone as they have currently in the major areas as they develop more interactable areas. And
Fire brings up a good point. Towns should have ship spawns. I agree, but at the same time, it's probably back to the hangar point, right? You need to have a hangar to sort in. So
yeah, there needs to be some kind of hangar.
What's that?
For a town to have a ship spawn, there needs to be some kind of hangars.
Yeah. Well, it eventually we're not going to have the same kind of spawning mechanic that we have right. And that's something I had this conversation with a lot of people, like very often, that people think it's like this magical concierge valet spawning thing is going to happen forever everywhere. It's like, okay, so if somebody has a Kraken or an Idris, and you have a hangar on your ship, it's like you just spawn any ship on there. It's like that's not how it's going to work. And
Well, that better not be how it works.
And the hangars on various planets where they have this magical system. And Todd Pappy has talked about this in the past, and some of the other devs, where the intent is to have full persistence with physicalized.
It has to
area.
be right. Yeah, you have to.
And so
you have to have that.
You take your ship and you land it somewhere, and it's always going to be there. It's not going to magically disappear, and some other ship can appear in that same spot when somebody else calls your ship, which is what happens now. We have 10 hangars in Area 18, and they cycle ships in and out of there, and there's a magical valet system. Eventually, you'll have your own personal hangar.
For the cities. For the landing areas, they're going to still store your ship.
But yeah. Like if you land your ship out in the middle of it, not in a hangar, then it's gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, small towns
there.
and stuff, you land there, you're supposed to stay there. But for like the large landing areas, there's supposed to be some kind of automated ship storage system.
It depends. So you're going to have your own physicalized hangar.
Right. If you land it
that's
at your hangar at your hab, sure, but
yes,
you got to still fly from your hab to Area 18. So you take the SkyTrain if you're close enough.
Yeah, that's what they talked about. It's like, so you may have your living area where there's multiple habitation buildings with your apartments, and they have hangars, and you live there, and so there's a tram that goes from that area to the main landing area of Area 18, and your hab and your hangar are fully persistent, and you go in there and you decorate it, you put stuff in there, and it's always there. And that
so what you park in there
physical
is stay in
location.
There.
So you tell your friends, like, okay, I live in Area 16, Building 5, Unit Apartment, such and such on such and such floor, and that is always
There's no
your
yawning
location
on the show, by the
forever.
way. It's like freaking 7 o'clock for you. I don't hear it.
It's 2040.
He should have had some espresso beans like I did.
No, gross.
Clearly.
I don't like to eat coffee.
So, hard deck. Ooh.
Hard deck. Yeah, nope. Already covered that one. No competitive.
Well, yeah, I mean, just a simple fact they're lowering it.
They're
looking to do 300.
Good
yeah.
job.
Thanks, Remoto. Appreciate that.
And there was much rejoicing. Woo!
Yeah, the hard deck was what I was talking about earlier, from lowering it from 300 to 100 meters. But as far as somebody apparently asked in the chat during the stream about competitive PvP missions, and what he was saying is that their intent is that the mission systems generate ecosystems that may create conflict. So, like even right now, there's missions for nefarious dark side of the law characters to go to some of these areas and collect drugs, and then there's also missions for lawful characters to go and destroy the drugs. And if those two people take those missions at the same time, they meet at that same location, and whoa, there's going to be some conflict and some PvP there. And
that's how it should be.
That is just a natural, organic type of situation that's just created by this mission system. Not specifically, okay, you meet this person somewhere and you go have a gunfight. That's not an organic ecosystem. So, the complexity is pretty cool.
Right, and Subsumption, the way it ties in with that too, which was, because it's a living, breathing universe. So.
With the AI catching up.
Yep. And then I had a note here that says combat needs a lot of work.
Combat needs a lot of work. Yeah, they've mentioned that a few times.
They talked about what are some of his biggest priorities right now in 3.5, and combat. He said that's one of the things that needs a lot of work. Definitely a high priority for him to fix.
Yeah.
And
we hope.
Yeah,
there's a lot bugs. There. The box bugs is a big one. And they're working on it. They know about it.
Box delivery missions are the #1 mission for new players, and that's that
Right, you put the box on the
going-
table and then it doesn't work. It's got to be really
you
frustrating.
pick it up, or you set it down on your ship and it disappears, or it falls through your ship, or it disappears, goes somewhere into space, goes back to origin point, all kinds of things like that. So those are two of their biggest priorities.
Lots of new features come and hot. Oh yeah.
What else do we have here? New features coming.
Yeah, the way
Uh,
they're doing feature updates.
So they were saying that like their patch cycle of delivering a patch every quarter. So that's 3 months. That's 12 weeks. So that literally gives them, for a new feature that they start on when they deliver, say 3.5 to go to 3.6, that only gives them 6 weeks to work up this new feature, and then it gives them about 4 weeks to polish it up and then go out to Evocati, because their preference is to have 4 to 6 weeks with Evocati and then 2 to 3 weeks in PTU. And so it's a very fast cycle, and so a lot of times when they get to the next patch, they're coming in hot and it's not really polished. So that's one of the reasons so every time we get a new patch, that it's pretty buggy. I mean, there's a lot of issues, a lot of things don't work. A lot of people, unhappy that, okay, so we got 3.5, it's a lot of amazing stuff, but all kinds of stuff doesn't work. You land on Area 18, you can't ever get off. It's a Hotel California, you're stuck forever. You check in, but you can never leave. And, so we get all this new stuff, and then everybody's bitching. It's like, well, it's a huge freaking patch. There's a lot of stuff, and they have a very high tempo of delivering new content, which they've been on for 15 months now. And they've had 5 quarters of quarterly patches delivering new content that they've delivered within weeks of their target. So I mean, they're doing very well in my perspective, and they've delivered a ton of stuff, and they're on a fast timeline.
Well, there's sprint schedules,
regular schedule, and it's really tremendous, and a lot of people are talking lately because of the whole I hate to mention the Forbes article and all the follow-on shit posting about that, but it's been a lot of conversation about, okay, well, in the first several years, CIG was not very consistent, or in doing a lot of
things. That thing grew like a freaking out of control weed. Actually, massive amount of weeds.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk for two hours on why it was a chaotic, rapidly changing startup process for several years, going from 5 people to 500 people. But the past 15 months, they've been on quarterly patches that they're delivering, and it's been tremendous. And they've got a roadmap. They're 12 months out on their roadmap, and they've been hitting it with
they're very visual
consistency.
Right, I mean, even with the stuff that slipped, they're still very visual with it. Yeah, I mean, they're saying, this is the problem. This is why we can't hit this. This is what we're doing about it. This is why it's slipping. That's the whole thing. Just keep us informed.
So every time we get these new patches and they're buggy, and their intent is, okay, deliver the stuff and polish it. Deliver the stuff, and I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
So. Yeah, so and I thought that last question that Disco asked him about how Todd Pappy likes this open development process of having people playing it as it's going and the quarterly releases, and I think Disco was expecting him to just say, "Oh, I love it. This is fantastic," to be able to have it all tested at the same time. It's like he actually was not 100% on board with this. That it's like it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on management and the development teams that they have got to continually push this stuff out, and they have so many things going on simultaneously that it's complicated, because it pulls resources from different areas, and they can't just work on one thing and get it done, and move on to another thing and get it done, because they have so much stuff going on.
Well,
And, Junkyard in Space says this game is really frustratingly broken this time. Like, it's not this time; it's every time. Like,
yeah, but that's the whole point of it.
I don't know how long you've been here, but
yeah, I don't know. I think it's working pretty good right now, at least for me.
I mean, it's buggy as fuck. I mean, it's buggy as fuck, and it's fun. It's fantastic. I mean, I love it, and I have a great time in it. I'm in it almost every damn day for a couple of hours, and I love it. I mean, it's amazing. But I also, shit happens, and I laugh about it. It's like I don't get really wrapped up in trying to accomplish anything. I don't really do cargo trading. I don't try to make a bunch of money. I'm not really wrapped up in the missions, because a lot of stuff doesn't really work well. And if you're really wrapped up in, it's like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and right, and you get frustrated, you're not going to have a very good time, because it is an alpha testing process on a fast cadence. And if you don't like a situation that is not going to be working smoothly, that's going to have bugs, it's going to be crashing, you probably should take a break for a year.
Well, no, and Zap brings up a good point, because this happens a lot. Is the fact that you patch a bug, and you find a bug, you patch it, and then on the next release it comes up again. Don't talk to me about that, because I have SLI. It happens every patch, so yeah, it's just that's the life of the beast, right? I mean, you're gonna have that. We are an alpha of an alpha. Blah.
How about the ultra wide monitor bug?
Yeah.
He couldn't fly or do anything
all the fucking time.
It's like,
yeah,
the new patch, and it's like you couldn't do anything. You couldn't quantum, because you're trying to quantum, and it's like, okay, it's offset, because
it's an alpha of an alpha. I mean, until this goes like final beta or even final, you really can't complain about anything, because the shit's gonna change all the time.
Make suggestions on how to fix it.
You're allowed to complain, but not in a negative way. It's like, I bitch about it and I laugh about it. It's like, I can't get off Area 18. Mystic's over at Olisar, and I'm on Area 18. It's like, and an hour and a half later, I'm still in Olisar. It's like, all right, well, it's like, I gotta go to bed. It's like, we'll try again.
Just go to bed, right? I mean,
I can't get off. It's like,
gonna happen.
I go from, but
especially
I'm
now.
an extremely patient person. I am extremely patient.
You really are, and you're a hype master too.
I am. So it's like, I'm very positive, and
very much the hype master.
I look at this as a long-term project, a long-term process that we're in alpha. It is literally alpha testing. They're building the game long before
it's like an alpha of an alpha.
Long before it ever goes to beta. So nobody has ever experienced this anywhere else in any other game ever. No one has ever done open development and let you test it as they're building it in the earliest stages of the process. So it's difficult. It's difficult. A lot of people really shouldn't be involved right now.
Streaming,
honestly. They just really should not. And it's like people are impatient. They've been waiting a long time. But it's big, it's complicated, and they're making progress.
Yep.
So, Janan Tonic, I hope I'm not butchering that, says other people have done it, just not at this scale. I don't know. I mean, somebody could list perhaps some game that has been completely open as they're building it in the earliest stages. I haven't seen anybody ever actually mention one.
Gin and Tonic. That's a good name. Oh, Gin. It's like bartender. Damn him. You guys and your creative ass names.
Much better than the real Shad Zero, Ken.
Yeah, well, there's no good
Shroud of the Avatar. So Shroud of the Avatar is.
Oh, don't get him started.
Yeah. What about Shroud of the Avatar? You have to be more specific.
No.
Well, no. So they're saying that's being. It's in open development in early alpha.
Isn't it released
and I-
now?
Is
I
it?
thought it was in beta.
No idea. This is Star
Yeah.
Citizen show. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't
no, it's
followed
like-
it.
I
Where
know
did it
I
all-
know it's crowdfunded. I know it's fairly open, but I thought it was not actually
It wasn't as
open until it was
as
alpha.
It's actually a
Yeah,
great segue into the next point, which is the roadmap.
roadmap.
This is why this exists. Is because
Roadmap. So
Yeah.
this is the summary by Odysseus out of France. He does an amazing job putting this out every week. I mean, very shortly after it comes out. So
the epoch. Oh, I just noticed the Animus was moved to 3.7. That's very sad.
was that?
Yeah.
I
So,
wanted to
mentioned
shoot
that earlier.
things with
Jenna
missiles.
says that it's been an open development the entire time, but I haven't really heard a lot about it. I've heard some people have been involved with it. I knew a lot of people who crowdfunded it. I don't know a lot of people that were actually involved in playing it during the alpha.
Yeah.
Okay, so one other relatively obscure game,
But yeah, other people have
which-
done what they're doing.
which is
It's
a tiny microcosm of what CIG is doing.
the thing that CIG's doing isn't that they're not doing anything new. Like everything they're doing has been done before. It's just never all together and at the same scale.
The scale,
Yeah.
Well, the scale's the big part.
Right.
The server scale's the biggest part.
and getting all of it to work together.
But yeah, getting
all
it,
the
yeah. I mean,
shortcuts,
well,
and
it's building the
Yeah, it's
framework to make it work
Right.
on that scale. That's the hardest part.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that analogy works. It's like, okay, so different people have done different things at different scales. Nothing at this scale with all of the different features and fidelity, millimeter scale to millions of kilometer scale, with no loading screens in one universe on one server at the fidelity,
Right.
with an MMO, with the spaceships and physics grids within physics grids, object containers within object containers.
Well, nested
Yeah,
containers,
the-
that's the hardest part. Really,
Yeah,
that's what I know is the hardest part.
insanely complicated.
Moving right along.
What else? What else we have?
We have,
We have one picture of the Vancouver bar citizens.
yes.
There were actually some other bar citizens, but this is the only one we have because STEM Citizen was actually at it.
Yes, Stegosaurus Rex. We're going to show that right here, which was... We got a really cool picture, actually, because there's a good group there. And they got a little one, too, so
There.
he really wonders if there's a tiny little pilot there.
And that bright flare at the right edge of the camera there, that's Stim's bald head.
Oh, yeah, the giant... Yeah, that's definitely Stim's head. Yep. That's
the
your
tall one
head,
on the right.
Stim.
It's
It's funny, he's still awake. It's 6 o'clock there, but still awake.
Yeah, so another happy bar citizen there.
Yeah,
J-
a great time, I'm sure.
JJ said that the kid looks really happy to be there.
What the hell
She
am
probably
I
just
doing?
Probably just doesn't like pictures.
Probably past the damn irresponsible parents.
Yeah, why is everyone drinking around me?
Probably upset she
Seems
didn't get any
normal to
beer.
me.
My kids get plenty of beer.
Oh man! All right, let's see. What do we got next? What's next? Oh, This Week in Star Citizen.
This week in Star Citizen. So, pretty much the usual stuff. We've got an Inside Star Citizen planned for Thursday. We have Star Citizen Live planned for Friday. We have a lore post that came out yesterday.
Here we go. Yep, community content schedule. Yeah, the lore post. We'll go over that here in a little bit. I'm sure none of us read it. I know I didn't.
Wait, there was a lore post?
I scanned
Yeah.
it. I scanned it.
I did.
I scanned it.
It's on Charon. So
I'm doing my part.
Anyway.
Wait, I don't
Yes.
even see it.
It's right there.
It's linked there in the
It's
Oh,
like
is it
in our show notes,
This
but
Week
it's also
in Star
in-
Citizen?
It's also in the This Week in Star
Oh,
Citizen. Here.
I had
Anyway.
refreshed recently.
Anyway.
There it is.
Anyway. So yeah, this weekend, and then we have the community MVP,
I see it now.
screenshot
Okay, so-
portfolio. A lot here.
you're glossing over the Charon system. So Charon system.
Oh, well, let's go to that.
Isn't it Karen?
Karen.
Karen.
Charon.
Karen.
Charon.
Damn it, Karen.
Charon. Like, I don't know.
Damn you, Karen.
But yeah, so this is apparently a very lawless system. It's on the far end of the UEE space, and it's currently going through a civil war. So it's a very dangerous place. It was actually
Great place for Saren to join.
Charon 3 was actually a prison planet. So during the Messer reign, all of the criminals were shipped off to Charon 3, and political prisoners and just pretty much anybody who said anything bad about anybody was shipped off to this prison planet. And then after the Messer reign fell, there were various states, and so currently they're going through a state of civil war. So very dangerous there.
So if you want to get shot by people or shoot people, there's where you want to go.
That's probably one of those places.
Yeah. It's a shooty place.
It's kind of shooty in the facey face kind of place.
It is a
Saren's
shooty
kind of
place.
There's your travel warning right there.
It's either Sharon or Karen. I can't.
Let's call Karen. Let's just call Karen. Because I mean, if you walk in there and then you name it wrong, you're probably going to get shot anyway. So.
Yeah, but they'll probably correct you before they shoot you, so you'll know.
Well, yeah, they'll correct you as they shoot you. All right, let's go to the next one here. Ooh, subscriber flare.
Subscriber flare. So we have
kind of a
super exciting next piece of the Rust
Final
Society.
piece.
Thank God it's over.
Is he being facetious or?
Much rejoicing. The last of the armor sets. So would have had 8 months of armor sets. Jesus Christ.
Actually, 10 months, but I don't
10
want to
months?
correct
Was it?
Oh, fuck. You're right. No, that's right. There's 5 pieces per set.
you. Yeah.
No, 5 pieces. No, there's arms.
Let's go on the
legs,
record and say
torso,
this is the one thing we
torso,
don't
and head.
like.
No, there's only 4. Arms.
No, there's
head.
5. There's arms,
Oh,
head,
legs.
dear Steele
legs,
Simpson.
body, and then
Clearly he's the guy that put
chest
this
piece.
up.
The undersuit. The undersuit.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes. So there are 5 pieces.
5 pieces.
Yes.
Torso,
Yeah.
it seems.
Oh God.
Torso, arms.
There's certain things that make me drink a lot. That's bad puns.
You're on the newsletter. If you click the subscriber flare Centurion.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's the Rust Society. It actually looks kind of cool. It almost looks kind of.
I don't know. I kind of feel like if I'm a subscriber, I don't want the armor that's made out of rust.
It's not made out of rust. It's the Rust Society.
Yeah, but it looks like rust. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
can I get an amen?
So Blackbank says it's funny, when the sub armor started, there were only a few choices. Now there's like 200 choices to choose from,
That's a
and
good
the sub
point.
armor is kind of drawing apart. Yeah, in 3.5, they added like 10 colors to most of the different armor sets. So now there's so many different combinations between
Yeah,
the different sets of undersuits and armors and helmets, and I don't even know the combination. I use some white undersuit with the black Inquisitor armor,
Which
and
looks awesome.
The white G2
Oh,
helmet.
do you have a picture
and
of that? I think
it
we do
looks
have a picture.
it looks great.
I think we do have a picture of that. Actually.
Do you have a picture of that somewhere?
Yeah, I know. I know you and Mysticar and somebody else
Yeah,
posted a really cool picture about it for
yeah,
the screenshot
Mys-
contest. If you want to go through
Yeah.
that real quick.
Yeah, Mystic and I have the matching, and she came up with the color combination actually.
Yeah. Here we go.
Let me-
So
Got it?
yeah, the screenshot contest. Let's talk about that real quick. So the screenshot contest is actually coming up. We're gonna do the cutoff on the 12th, May 12th.
Oh, great picture.
And
Gotta be Mystics.
that's 3 people in the Inquisitor armor with the white undersuit. Either way, so we're doing a screenshot contest. It's in our Discord, YachtClubSC.com. Go
over
there,
after
you'll
this
get the
weekend.
Discord. Yep, and then
We're giving away an LTI Origin 350R
Beautiful
and-
350. Something you can't get. Well,
Yep.
currently.
And then second prize is going to be another 85X, I think.
Yes.
don't
No,
know.
actually, I think we're going to go deeper in that because there's a lot of really good ones in there.
Yeah, we might give away a couple things, but yeah. So we've got a screenshot contest, of which this
Yes.
is one of them.
Yep, join your Discord and you'll be able to get in on that. But yeah, that's the Inquisitor armor, by the way, which looks really awesome.
Yep. I think that covers most of our stuff.
Yeah.
For
we got all the
for
questions.
the past week. There was a lot of stuff. Do we have
Well,
questions?
the Todd Peppy talk alone was enough.
I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
ask T and Einster if we have questions.
Yeah,
it's
let's do that.
It's in the question. It's in the question part
yeah,
of our
the questions
question
tab.
thing.
Here
So
we
it's like,
go.
if anybody actually has questions, it was exclamation point question.
All right, cool. So the first question comes from the
In
website
chat.
from Timball. It is with Sig stating that the new the new shields will be sticking to the hull of this ship. Do you guys think that it will not shield external cargo pods on ships like the Hull series? Good point. It actually adds if so, this should give ships that carry cargo internally a huge advantage versus a ship that doesn't. That's
I'm
a
just gonna
good
go
point.
ahead and assume that it covers. the
Yeah,
cargo.
I'm thinking it's gonna the way that they stated it wraps physical things. I
Yeah.
would think they're gonna cover that. That would be
Right.
really. That's a great point though, because I mean, if you think about it, that could be the difference between losing your cargo. You know, because somebody should shoot cargo off your ship, but the ship would be fine. So it's a good point.
Yeah,
we don't
I-
know, but
I-
yeah,
I think it'll probably cover it because it should cover the struts, but no, it's still exposed. So even if it's covered by the shields, it's not covered by the ship. So if you have an internal cargo ship like the Bandit Merchantman, it's going to be more protected than on a hull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be more protected on the internal ones.
it
but you
would be
just won't
cool if you
carry
could
as
shoot
much
the cargo off of ships though. Not hurt this ship.
Yeah. It would be
Yeah.
shitty to shoot the cargo.
Yeah.
You can just strafe people's whole seas for fun. Oh, there goes half your cargo. Yeah. That would be a griefer's paradise.
It really would be.
Next
All right,
question.
Next question. So this is from the website from Fat Lou, Skinny Lou, as I like to call him.
Fat Lou's pirate uncle.
Fat
you
Lou's
thi-
pirate uncle.
Hey, Spectre, thanks for the tip. Thank you for the tip, sir. Do you think they will rework the 600 I's terrible use of space? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to. Pretty much every ship that comes out always gets a rework.
So this is specifically geared to me and my triggering of the constant wasted space complaint about the Origin 600.
There's a lot of it.
Infamous for being triggered. We need our triggered emote on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, so like for those of y'all who don't know about the 600i wasted space controversy and my triggeredness over this, like the 600 and the 890 to come, they're designed to be filled with furniture and decorations and things to make it your own and personalize it. That's what all that space is for. And also,
Right.
it's meant for a lot of people to be able to socialize and wander around, as we've had in our Yacht Club outings, where we've gone on the 600, we've gone on the Phoenix, and we'll have a dozen people on a ship running around while we're traveling.
Hey,
from bar to bar.
Drex, thanks for the sub,
And
buddy.
It's like, thanks, Drex.
Hey,
But yeah, so if you have one
cheers.
person,
Subs get cheers.
Yeah.
cheers. But if you have one person on the 600, yeah, it feels fucking empty. But if you've got 12, it doesn't feel empty anymore. And then if you
No.
add some furniture in there,
There was
it's
a
gonna
lot
feel
of
even less empty.
right. That's the
So,
thing.
yeah.
Like, you're gonna
With-
add a lot of stuff to it.
Quit trolling, Jaron. Like,
Yeah. So, all right. So moving along.
Okay, so next question is from the website from Junkyard in Space. There's a new guy here. Do you think the extended refactor of the physics system being done in 2020 will affect the current flight model? Great question, because if you
I already
think
answered
about
this
it,
question, and the
Yeah,
answer is
but-
probably.
the way that his question is, it's actually the physics of what is going to change about things,
Yeah.
and that adds all that. So yeah, I think it will.
I think it's a refactor of the physics system, meaning the back end of how the physics systems work. So it might have some effect on the flight model, but I'm guessing their goal is to not have that much effect.
I think it's going to be you'll notice it, but it won't be like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's just a back end thing, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it's just more refining. I think that what we have now in the first quarter of 2019 is going to feel tremendously different from what we're going to feel a year from now.
Cats are redecorating.
In every way. Like we saw earlier in Naranya's 3.4, 3.5 comparison, every patch is continually changing and balancing and tweaking the way every ship feels, the way physics works. A year from now, it's going to feel tremendously different. And everybody seems to have a very short-term memory of how things felt a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, because it's changed so much. It's an entirely different game now from what it was a year and a half ago. So, yeah, I think it's going to affect the flight model. I think they're going to balance the flight model. This is the first iteration.
Yeah, it would only be proper if they did. I mean, if you're changing something like the Vanguard, let's take the Vanguard. Like everyone thinks it's getting fatter on the inside, right? Is that going to add mass? Is it going to? Right. Well, you're right. It is. I mean, theoretically, it is. You can see it. Is that going to change the flight characteristics? I agree. I think it should, because you're adding more stuff.
Well, most of the flight characteristics are dependent on where the thrusters are placed.
Excellent
and as
point.
long as the thrusters are in the same place based on the center of mass for the ship, it shouldn't change its flight characteristics.
Shouldn't change too much, but I mean, if you add a lot of mass, you could actually change the true flight characteristics. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they might have to beef
question.
up the thrusters a little bit, but yeah.
Good question.
Next question.
All right, next question. Next question comes from the website from Drex. What are your opinions on ship customization? We can't wait for it. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of things coming on ship customization with the 3.5.1. They've already said that they're going to have the other 300 variants, and those are going to have exterior color variations, which we've seen. It's probably going to stay just a set pattern, and then you choose what color combinations you have. So there'll be like a primary, secondary, tertiary colors.
Can't wait for that. Because
890
hopefully they
will
have that
probably
in the first
future ships will come with that. I'm sure the 890 will. But then eventually, I think we'll have some interior texture variations,
trim options.
In the 600 brochure, it showed different types of stone and leather.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have different interior customization in time on 600s, 300s, 890.
I should point out
that other ships.
The brochures are completely bullshit 90% of the time, so don't take anything from them.
Well, the brochures are great. We like the brochures just because they're cool.
But they have talked about having that variation.
That might be possible.
Wow, that water is hard, isn't it, out in Oregon?
But also, I think that this is going to be something that you're going to see on ships like Origin ships, but you're not going to see this on Drake. You're not going to see this on...
Oh, snap, he's firing shots again.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I can't say anything.
So, and you may have some external color variations, but you're not going to have interior variations. You're not going to have different colors, textures. I don't think that they're going to bother with that because, it's a very basic, bare bones, utilitarian ship design. And not just Drake, but like Aegis and Anvil. I mean, they're very...
if you look at the differences between the regular Caterpillar and the Pirate Caterpillar, you can tell that the interior differences can change a lot.
There's interior differences?
Yeah.
It is.
The Pirate Cat is Hulkamania through and through. The regular cat is just regular.
Hulkamania? What?
It's yellows and reds. It looks like something Hulk Hogan was.
Jesus.
Colors. Okay, so
colors.
There
Okay, there we go. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah, the interior colors changed.
I don't have one. It's like
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have a
I
pirate
haven't
cap. Who has a pirate cap? Who has a pirate
I have a
cap?
pirate cap.
In chat. Who has a pirate cap?
Fat
Because
Lou
I
has
would
one.
love to see it. I haven't seen it.
That-
So,
Doc
so is
has
it,
all-
does a
I
pirate
have
cat
one.
have like a bunch of exposed
Doc
like
has all the
everything
ships.
to trip over? No, he said he didn't have
No.
one.
No, I do. I have a pirate cat. I don't have
Oh,
a
you do?
regular cat.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday we're gonna fly a pirate cap.
All right. You guys can see what I mean by
We're gonna
Hulkamania.
figure out a mission for the
Okay.
Hulkamaniac.
Yeah, I don't think I've been inside of a pirate cave.
I
But
haven't
there,
either.
like I was saying, there are interior differences that they could
So
do.
what is the interior
that
difference? I mean,
don't
is it like
require-
color or is it actual differences?
It's just color. It's paint.
Oh, okay. So it's just pink.
Yeah.
Has a nice color. 100% color.
I wouldn't know if it's nice, but
You do own one, so.
I know. It's a caterpillar. It's made by Drake.
All right. Any more questions? That was the last question we had, I think. T, is that the last question? I think it is. Yeah.
That's the last question.
Scrolling. Yeah, man, we have answered a lot of freaking questions.
Like-
Not right, I'm sure, but we've answered a lot of them.
We've gotten at least one or two.
We have
right.
at least addressed them. Let's
addressed
ask
them.
in the
It's like-
chat any more questions.
Any last questions?
Any last questions?
Before we
Mindbenders?
close it out.
Before we call it a
Give
night
us,
tonight.
give us the spin.
It's like
Spin.
Doc has family obligations and it's getting late on the
And
East Coast.
it's
Shadow, you've
It's
done
only 12:30.
You have done
Or
a
12:11.
fantabulous job. You
I
actually
did. I only messed up a few times. I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like
you got
I
us
had a
rolling.
great teacher.
It worked. You got us on.
We're going to be switching to a new broadcasting software soon. I can tell you that.
Woo!
Hey, at least it freaking worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything happened. We showed up. We were here.
We
drank beer,
didn't
talked about
we didn't
stars.
die in a fire. We
I
didn't die
must
in
say
a fire.
that the
We did die-
transitions,
I didn't
We
burn
did
my
die in a
house down.
fire.
the transitions were much
worked.
smoother. They were much smoother today than they normally are.
So
Everything
who
worked.
are
So
we
it's great.
gonna raid there? T. I think we have it. Raid
Captain
target.
Burks. Captain Burks.
Captain
Captain
Burks.
Burks. Is that what?
Captain Burks.
Set us up to raid them, T and Eitster.
So thanks for
Stammy,
everybody.
thanks,
for joining
brother.
us. This
Yeah,
is a good
thanks,
time.
guys.
Great to have y'all here.
This was a great show.
great to great to hang
It
out
was
with
just a
everybody.
great
and-
talking show.
Yeah,
We highly
no,
suggest you watch the
it's
Todd
just great.
Pappy talk because that was a lot
It's
of content there.
fun.
Raid countdown. Here we go.
There was
Thank you,
there was
guys.
a lot to talk about.
Thank you all,
24
ladies and
ounces of
gentlemen, yacht connoisseurs. Salud.
So next week, Doc will have actual beer, generic
I might.
beer. Might have generic beer next week.
What
might.
more
We'll
than that?
harass. We'll
Like I
harass
said,
you on the way.
it's not really water. It's vodka. I drank 24 ounces of vodka in this span of time.
I see. It's like.
Clearly
Well, good night, everybody.
not.
Thanks for joining us. Been a good time.
Salud.
Been a good time.
Yep. Peace out, homies.
You're out of scotch.
I
Oh,
know. I
no.
could pour another one. There we go.
Oh no.
Raid.